So, in a little bit of a change up, I know most people would do this figure last, since he is the Build-A-Figure and you need to get all the other figures to make him. I'm going to start with this guy. Of course, I'm talking about Metallo, the Wave 5 Build-A-Figure. Metallo, or John Corbin, first appears in Action Comics number 252 in 1959. It is very nice, robotic, cybernetic sculpt. Bits of the Terminator in there with the face and the skeletal hips and torso and arms, and you have some steampunk type influences with these exhaust pipes coming out of his feet and back, all very well detailed. You have details of little pins and chinks where the metal has been beat up. You have details of the electrical cording. Look at the details in the eyes right there. That's a great, just all around. See, there's like some sort of port. He's really great, and when this guy first came out a couple years ago, I wasn't too excited about the Build-A-Figure, but he does not disappoint. I don't know if you can call it an accessory or more like a feature, but of course, his being a cyborg, he needs power, and he is powered by a Kryptonite heart. So if you remove this, you can see there the Kryptonite in there, and it's got this nice green glowing discoloration on the metal. I really like that. Just again, look at the detail on this. Just the chest plate. You see rivets, and the rivets are painted, and everything's just painted very nicely. Now let's go into some articulation. The head moves side to side and up and down. Appears that the jaw moves, but it's just soft rubber. It's not a joint. Arms move all the way around. Although this arm is a lot smoother going around than this arm. His arms move side to side, and they got he has this kind of a ball joint swivel, so you can kind of get a little bit of movement like that, but not much. It's mainly for a rotation. And you have a nice elbow joint. His wrists rotate. I thought the fingers might be articulated at least. No, they're just molded in one position. That's a little bit of a letdown, but not that big. He's got nice articulation in the chest area. Moves all the way around, up, back, forward and back, and even side to side like that. Legs move forward and back, out to the side, and they as well have a ball joint here that's for rotation. They have a knee joint and an ankle joint. Now on this side, I can twist his leg underneath here as well as at the top there. I don't know if that's intentional or if that's something that's just a defect with my figure, because this one doesn't move at all. Curious out there to people if they've come across that. And on this joint, you can see here, this hip joint doesn't collapse in as well as this other one. It's still at kind of an angle, but it really doesn't affect the posability of the figure at all. The Silver Age Metallo was a journalist who was a thief and murderer, and he was fleeing from the scene when he was hit by a car, and this professor put his brain into a robot body. Now, the body was powered by uranium. However, the uranium power source would only last for 24 hours. The scientists said, if you could get some kryptonite, that would power you forever. So he tries to steal some kryptonite from the, I guess, the Metropolis Museum, but he dies when it's revealed that it's just a prop kryptonite, because specifically they didn't want people taking the kryptonite and using it against Superman, which kind of makes sense. So he dies, and then his brother, I think his name is Peter Corbin. I'm not sure, but he becomes a second Metallo. And then, of course, all the Silver Age continuity is basically wiped away because of Crisis on Infinite Earths. Post-Crisis, John Corbin is a con man who was injured in a car crash. And very much like the Silver Age, his brain is put into a robot body. But this time, it's made out of a specific metal alloy called Metallo. And he's powered by kryptonite from the start, and he's programmed, the cyborg part of it is programmed to kill Superman because the scientists thought that he was invading, he was part of an invading force. Metallo then makes a deal with Neron, as lots of villains did in the late 90s, to gain some more power. The power he gets is to manipulate technology and reshape metals. Or he could form parts like shovels and pickaxe parts and blades out of all the metals and reshape them into basically any form that he wanted. I think his mind was actually put into a cloned body, so he became human again. But then he showed up in a humanoid robot body, and he was given, by Lex Luthor, he was given all the known forms of kryptonite. Green, red, gold, and blue. So he could choose which to expose Superman to. This new body, apparently, because of all the kryptonite, rots away. Superman's secret origin and the new Krypton storyline, kind of a blend of the two. You get a new revised Metallo secret origin. He's changed to being a Sergeant John Corbin, who serves under General Sam Lane. And he's just a man with an armor and a green kryptonite heart that helps keep him alive and run the armor. Now, he was a volunteer for a program to come up with a way to neutralize Superman. He's been, I don't know, I guess, manipulated by Sam Lane and his anti-alien prejudice, I guess, more so than being like an out-and-out criminal. Really cool Build-A-Figure. if you can pick up Wave 5, I think they're sold out by now. Stay tuned for my next review, which will be the Atom.